Today, we're talking about a tiny monkey who, with a little help from his favorite toy, basically took over the internet. And in doing so, he accidentally kicked off this huge global conversation. But you gotta wonder, right? The internet is absolutely full of cute animal videos. So why this monkey? What was it about his particular story that just resonated so deeply with millions of people? And when I say millions, I am not kidding. We are talking more than 10 million views across social media. His story didn't just go viral, it was a global phenomenon. So to really understand why, we've got to meet the little guy at the heart of it all.
All right, first things first, let's get into who Punch is and how he became this online sensation with really just one constant companion by his side.
So here he is. This is Punch. He's a baby Japanese macaque living at the Ichikawa City Zoo. And that little plush toy he's clinging to for dear life, well, that's basically his mom. His online fans even gave her a sweet nickname, Aura Mama. He takes it everywhere, he sleeps with it, he relies on it for everything. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why on earth did a stuffed animal have to step in and play the role of a mother? Well, the story behind this really unusual bond is, it's actually pretty heartbreaking. Punch was born during an incredibly intense summer heat wave. And his mother, who was a first-timer, was probably under so much stress from the heat and just being in captivity that soon after he was born, she abandoned him. Zookeepers had to step in, rescue him, and that's when they gave him the stuffed orangutan for the comfort he so desperately needed. This process is called hand-rearing. And look, while it absolutely saved Punch's life, it also comes with a really big downside. Without a real monkey mother to teach him all the complex social rules, how to play, how to show respect, how to navigate the whole troop hierarchy, he was at a massive disadvantage. He didn't know how to be a monkey. And what's so fascinating here is that Punch's situation isn't just a sad one-off story. It's actually a real-world echo of a classic and frankly pretty grim psychological study from the 1950s that completely changed our understanding of attachment and love. Yeah, check this out. It's Harry Harlow's experiment. He gave baby monkeys two options for a surrogate mother. One was made of cold wire, but it provided milk, and the other was soft and cloth, but offered no food at all. The babies overwhelmingly chose the cloth mother. They spent all their time clinging to her for comfort, proving that for primates, that comforting touch is just as critical for survival as food. Punch and his little plushie are a living example of this. But here's the thing, a strong attachment to a toy can't protect you from the harsh realities of macaque social life. And this brings us to the real conflict in his story, his incredibly difficult journey to be accepted by the other monkeys. So when the zoo tried to reintroduce him to the troop, videos started popping up online, and they showed Punch, all alone, looking so vulnerable, getting shoved and scolded by the other macaques. For his millions of fans, it was like watching the smallest kid in the playground getting bullied over and over. And the reaction from the internet was, well, immediate and really intense. People felt this powerful urge to protect him. This user on X, which used to be Twitter, pretty much summed it up perfectly, calling for a Panchi-kun protection squad. And those protective feelings, they got even stronger. I mean, some fans were ready to book a flight to Japan to personally defend him. It's kind of funny, but it just goes to show you how emotionally invested people got in this one tiny primate's fate. It even sparked the hashtag #HangInTherePunch. But then the zoo stepped in to give everyone some really important context. They explained that in one of the most viral clips, what looked like vicious bullying was actually a mother monkey scolding Punch because he was being a little too rough trying to play with her baby. It was a lesson in macaque etiquette, not malice. But that lesson, as harsh as it might have looked, was actually part of a much more hopeful new chapter. After all the struggle and all the online worry, a real turning point came in Punch's journey. We started seeing the first signs that he was finally learning the ropes. You can actually see his progress in these clear steps. He went from total isolation with his toy to facing all that tension and rejection. But then a breakthrough. He was seen tentatively grooming other monkeys. And then the final beautiful step, acceptance. He got a hug and was groomed back. And that moment of grooming, you just can't overstate how significant that is. For Japanese macaques, grooming isn't just about getting clean. It's how they build friendships, establish trust, and strengthen their social bonds. It's basically their version of having a deep, meaningful conversation. It was the proof everyone had been waiting for. So you might think, Great, he's accepted, happy ending. But Punch's story doesn't really stop there. His journey from an outcast to a member of the troupe, it ended up forcing a much, much bigger conversation about our relationship with animals.
His viral fame had some serious unintended consequences. Zoos started getting a huge spike in people asking, "Can I have a pet monkey?" which just fuels a dangerous and illegal trade. It also shines a light on our really contradictory view of his species. We see Punch as this adorable creature, but at the same time, thousands of Japanese macaques are culled as pests or used in lab research. And ultimately, it makes us ask tough questions about captivity itself. Is a concrete zoo enclosure really the best environment for these incredibly intelligent social animals? And all of this leaves us with a final, really important question to think about. When we turn an animal into an internet celebrity, when we make them a symbol of loneliness or resilience or hope, what is our responsibility? Not just to them, but to the bigger, much more complicated story of their entire species.